that's a nice change. I'm also happy that he didn't step into my space. He did a good job there again by trying to stay. Now he's tried to stay several times and he's done a pretty good job. I'm going to go ahead and send him. I'm going to ask him to leave. This is a good sign because I'm asking him to leave. And although it's not the best thing for the fact that he's not moving away from the stick and string, but it is a good sign that he's getting quiet to it. So that right there is him having a struggle with when he's supposed to go and when he's supposed to stand. Now he's kind of in a stuck mode where he switched gears, but now he switched into standing still, and now he doesn't want to move. So this horse is having a lot of trouble with making emotional transitions, which also end up showing up as physical transitions. He's not sure when I go to lunge him around here, he's not sure how the trailer fits into this whole thing. So you kind of saw him go up there and look at it like it must be part of the problem. He's not really sure. I'm going to do the same thing this direction where I'm going to toss this stick and string up over his back and let him process some of it in motion. Ask him to disengage, turn and face me. That was much better. One step I can handle. See if he'll let me toss it up over him. That right there, again, is another great example of him. He's trying really hard to do the right thing. He knew he was supposed to stand. He didn't really want to. You can see that fight where part of him really wants to leave and part of him really wants to stay. So that's where he's having that trouble with that emotional transition. So what's going on right now is that he's still being very reactive about the stick and string, but he's getting better in some places, and you can see the licking and chewing, but down around his hind legs, he's actually kicking out at the stick and string. He's managed to step on it now, accidentally. Back in my space, I should be able to lead him forward, but he better get out of my space at least as easily as he came into it. That's still one of the stickiest spots. He really needs to stay out of my space better because when he is going to climb up in that horse trailer, as freaked out as he is right now, as concerned as he is about everything that's going on, he would not be very fun to be in a small enclosed area with. A lot of this is repetition. He's making the mistake of thinking I want him to go forward when I toss this over his back. There you could see again that mental struggle. He thought about going forward and then he held himself still. So that's progress. I'm still going to back him up. Now it's interesting because you still see where he's getting dull in some places, but that's also a sign that he's getting more quiet. So we can let him get more quiet, but we still want him to be responsive. There's an example of how he's getting more quiet to the tapping. The good news is when he starts to get a little more dull like this, when he starts to allow me to tap on him longer, whether it's moving his front end or whether it's backing him up, this means he's actually starting to think. When he was just reacting and jumping out of his skin, he wasn't really taking the time to think. And so right now I'm tapping on this cannon bone, hoping I can get him to pick that foot up and set it down just a little bit further back. It's a backup cue that's different than grabbing on underneath the halter and pulling back like that. It's more effective because it's more of a body language cue. It's something I can apply more pressure to. It keeps me out of his body space. The little head nod is because he's not sure. He can't figure it out. So he's thinking, by the way, if you wanted to teach him to say yes, we could release right there. And I could eventually teach him that when I tapped on his cannon bones, if he went like this, that I would stop, which is why I shouldn't stop right then. The owner might not be happy if we teach our horse to say yes when we tap on the cannon bone. There you see it happening again. That's one of those accidental rewards sometimes people will accidentally teach the horse to do by rewarding. I like that he's slowing this down. When he does this, as he slows that thinking down like that, he's telling me that he's shifting into a different frame of mind. He's not completely there yet, but you can see that he's starting to shift into a different state of mind.